We needed a portable PA, and we were waiting for the right time, the right price, the right stuff to come into stock, and we did just that. And I think you're gonna laugh at me because even the drill I'm using today is budget branded. So today I've got an old rack with some old in-ears that we're gonna take out of the rack. I've got a Behringer wing rack. That's the least budget thing of the build. And then the interesting thing is this Harbinger MLS 900 personal line array. I bought 2 of them so we can run them in stereo outside for events. Musician's friend had a stupid deal of the day, and I wasn't looking at the Harbinger brand at all. I was looking at like Mackie or EV 12-inch speakers that I could throw on sticks. We've done that for a bunch of other stuff. We have that in a couple rooms here, but I was like, I just need something portable. I want to be able to use it for more than just a portable PA offsite. I want to have a reason to use it on Sundays. I want to have a reason to use it for our student ministry. So this actually turns out great because it allows us to use it on Sunday and it allows us to use it on Wednesday to play music via Bluetooth outside. But we haven't heard it yet. We haven't even unboxed it. So hopefully it's great. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. But it was half off on Musician's Friend for their stupid deal of the day. And I bought 2. So I got 1 free essentially. So let's see what it sounds like. We're going to start unboxing it and do the thing. And I'm holding an IEC cable and just swinging it around. Also, if you are building a portable PA and you can find one of these guys for really cheap, these are the Apple Airport Express Mark II Gen 2s. These are the second version. They have an 1/8 inch output, a headphone output. So if you're using an iPad to mix, you can also have playlists downloaded to it that just AirPlay over this router. All right, time to unbox. Let's get the tower out. Oh, it's double boxed. Classic. Oh, cool. It has a carrying case. Let's see what this looks like. Feet. Pull. That's cool. I do like that carrying case already. Unbox the second set of towers. Feet. Pull. This is kind of fun that they have these little carrying cases. I like that a lot. Alright, time for the sub. And this sub has the mixer integrated into it. So let's see what that looks like. Also double boxed. Not surprised. Paperwork, setup assembly. Cool. Styrofoam. No, maybe not. Maybe it just looks that way. Oh, this is so light. This is 20 pounds, 30 pounds. That's not bad at all. Which, there's only 1 power cable, and that kind of lightweight build is what I was hoping for. Because as I'm thinking about how this will be used, I won't always be the one setting it up or tearing it down, and I need it to be simple. Something that's a self-contained line array like this really makes a whole lot of sense. Why am I folding this box? It's just gonna get tossed. Let's get the other sub out. All right, manual, styrofoam. Oh yeah. Yep, I could two-hand. I mean, they're still in plastic, but so you get the idea. Like, that's doable. You start thinking, okay, well, how can I pack mule this? If you need to pack mule it, you totally can. That's totally doable. That's a one-way trip for sure. Love it. All right, let's start putting some of these. Together. Let's start putting some of these together and see how easy they are to set up. I know Harbinger kind of gets a bad rap as a budget brand, but like, this doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't look cheap. To be fair, I've never used Harbinger products before, so this is my first time. Let me turn on some lights in here. Alright, so as you can see, channel 1, 2, 3, bass and treble. So we've got our 3 dials for our mixer, we've got general EQ for our master output. This is 2 combo jacks that are mic, guitar, and line, so like a mic, a high Z, and a line input. Then you have your 3rd channel, which is either your Bluetooth, your stereo TRS, or your 1/8 inch cable. And then you've got your link in and your output. So this in mono will just be a single mono tower. In the stereo master, according to the instructions, this output goes from the left one to your right one, and the right one gets set to link input, and it only takes the right side of the feed through the link input. So that's pretty cool. Okay, well, we've got them out and we've got them unboxed. Let's set the towers up, see how tall they are, see what they look like. These little cases are nothing to write home about. I wouldn't trust them like in the back of a truck, but if you're sticking them in the back of a car, a hatchback, you should be more than fine. This is the top one because the top of it doesn't have any pins. So let's start with the bottom one, which has pins on the top and bottom, so that makes sense. I'm not going to read the instructions, but I'm assuming oh, am I missing something? What am I missing? Anything? Just the ball bearings are getting stuck? Is that what's happening? It's a snug fit. There we go. I hear the ball bearings. So I think that's in. I think that's in. And then we slide this one on the other way. Okay, well, that's about 6 feet tall. 6.5 feet tall. I'm 5'10", so 6.5 feet-ish. 5'10". Who am I kidding? I'm 5'7". 6.5 feet tall. There's one. Let's get the other one up. And we'll get some XLRs running, some signal going to these. And then we'll start building out the rest of the PA after we know how these sound. I don't like the way this first tower piece fits on. There's no like easy latch to know that it's secure. Yeah, it just kind of pressure fits. I don't know if I like that, but say for someone who doesn't know how they're setting, or if they've never set it up before, that's not a good sign. I'd like some sort of latch, some sort of confirmation for that bottom piece that it's actually secure. And who knows, I may be totally off. It may not be secure because I haven't even powered it on yet. We'll find out. 2 of these, sweet. Okay, so let's get these powered up. Yeah, don't pick them up with the towers on without also holding the tower, because that was wobbly. To get the right amount of volume for what we're looking for, and we mainly bought this for Easter, so we could have some outdoor overflow seating, if the weather permits. Could accomplish that, but we can't use a battery powered system because those would just not have enough volume. Alright, link these together. Link input, so even if I'm going to connect Bluetooth, master, link in. Alright, power on. Power on. No weird signals. Bluetooth's already trying to pair. Actually, let me turn one of them off. So, Bluetooth only pairs to one. Let's get some Bluetooth going. Alright, Bluetooth is on. I'm still not seeing it. Let me turn my Bluetooth off and on again. There it is. Okay. Just need to restart my Bluetooth. This is just to hear it, make sure it works. That's all we need to do right now. MLS connected. Now I can power this one on. Let's find some tracks. Alright. Here they are. 2 PA speakers. The link function works. That really doesn't sound bad. If you're curious, So that's halfway up on the channel volume. All right, for $600 of cheap PA speakers, those really don't sound bad. First impressions for $600 of essentially budget cheap PA speakers, these sound great. For $600, I have zero complaints. There's plenty of volume. So no worries. MLS 900, good to go. This will be the foundation of our portable PA setup, because we could also just run, if we need to have music playing outside, we need to have an MC or a host, we can literally run a microphone straight into it, take a 58 and a cable and just run it straight in. But I've got another piece that I think will be fun to talk about and unbox. So let's also unbox that. So this is the Phenyx Pro PTI 2. So this is a dual channel wireless microphone system. I should say, yeah, dual channel. It's 2 channels of wireless mics, 2 handhelds, with a 1U receiver. That guy right there. Get some glare off that. There we go. It's a PTI 2, but what I want to do is try the feature that these have of the alternate output talkback function. So let's open this up. I'll open it up from the top. All right, a couple little tabs. Let's start taking a look at the mics and receivers. 1U receiver with a screen. It's got a antenna, balanced output, and a mixed output. Monitor. Oh, balanced output, monitor output. Interesting. I'll have to see. Maybe it feeds these to the monitor output, so it's just like one talkback channel instead of individual talkback channels. That I'm not super stoked about if that's the case, but I'll be able to figure that out testing it. And you know, if I just read the manual, that would probably help too, because it does come with one. Comes with a couple of orange and blue. Well, it comes with a couple of little rubber stability rings, orange and blue, so you know which mic is which. Here's a power supply. Just a little barrel connector power supply. Yep, build our little portable PA rig. Have a couple of MC mics or worship leader mics. If we were to, like on Easter, what we want to do for our sunrise service is have 2 worship leaders and a piano player, and then our pastor come up. So if we do that, we'll have to share mics, because this is only 2. We'll have to share mics. But, all these plastics aren't sealed. So what protection does that actually offer? I don't know. But it's all falling out of the plastic. So the reason we're building this portable rig is for our Easter Sunday sunrise service. I have had that wing rack for a long time now. It's our backup console for our front of house wing, but I don't want it to just sit unused. I feel like to be a good steward, we need to maximize the capability of what we have, because it could still be a backup console just sitting in a rack that we also use for portable, but it's then being used while it's not being used as a backup, if that makes sense. So I don't want to just sit around gathering dust. I'd rather see it be used because we have it. And if we know that we're going to do maybe like outdoor worship nights for our student ministry over the summer, maybe you want to have more barbecues and stuff you churches do. Maybe you want to do that kind of stuff. Having a PA system like this makes perfect sense. That just threads open. Looks like 2 AA batteries. and these batteries go in single file. This is 537 to 589 megahertz. Can't even see that. What am I doing? It's fine. Let's just put the batteries in. Cool. Okay, nice, spring loaded. I've got a handful of rechargeable AA's, and I might put 8 of those in this kit and just dual lock it to the rack so that there's some batteries in the kit, keep those charged. But for now, I'll just use the batteries that came with it to test it because they're here. But yes, we'd love to use something like this for Easter, for overflow, for student worship nights. Let's see, get all the stuff out of here that needs to come out of here. Put that here. Okay, hold on. Let me grab the rack and we're gonna start building the rack. So this is the Behringer wing rack. This is gonna be our mobile PA front of house console. This has 24 analog inputs. It has 8 analog outputs. There's a whole bunch of other I/O it can have, but that's mostly what we will be using it for. We actually have this because it's a backup console to our front of house. We have a full-size wing rack at front of house, and if everything goes down, at least we have something that we can mix off of. So this will be going in our portable PA rig because I don't like to see gear go unused and just sit on a shelf, and that's exactly what this has been doing. So we're going to repurpose it, give it a first life before it gets used as our emergency backup console at front of house. But this is going to be great. It's the reason that we didn't go with anything else. It's a platform that we're familiar with, we know how to use. But you're probably wondering, what's this little white box on top? This is an Apple Airport Express. This is a tiny little router. It's an old router. But it works really well. So these have an 1/8 inch output on the back, so you can AirPlay to them. So let's say you're mixing from an iPad, you can use this for your network, and you can AirPlay a playlist from your iPad to this router, run the 1/8 inch out into some inputs on the back of the console, and your iPad does double duty as house music and your front of house mixer tablet. So we're gonna get this installed in the rack. This is gonna live at the bottom. Let's put it in the rack. When I build racks, I like to, as much as possible, stick them up so that I can just kind of drop gear in. This table is a little tall today, so it's going to look a little funny, but we're going to make it work. On the bottom of the rack, and this is mainly, I don't have a rhyme or reason for why I put things in a particular place, but this, in this case, I kind of do. This is so that the things that have antennas can go on top of the rack and can be up in the air as much as possible. So there will be a table like this that this rack lives on, so that it's not on the ground. We're going to get it up off the ground. The next piece of gear is going to be the Phenyx Pro PTI2 microphones. So this is the PTI2. This is a 2-channel, let's do it again. This is a PTI2. Upside right. This is a 2-channel wireless mic kit that actually, for the price, I think I got it on sale for 200 bucks. For 100 bucks a channel, super cool. Each microphone has a talkback function, so you press a button on it and it reroutes the audio to another channel on the back, so that you have essentially a talkback mic in your wireless handheld. Super cool. That functionality was more of a bonus. This was one of the best recommended microphones in the price range that I was able to find. And we're going to install it. You can see that I've actually bored out these holes up front. These are antenna holes, but the ones that were there already were not big enough for the antenna extensions. So we're going to put some antenna extensions in. I needed to get it to, what is it, 9/16, a little over a 1/2 inch, in order for those antenna extensions to fit through, because the threads were bigger than the 1/2 inch mark. We've got our cables. These are going to go on the back where you'd normally put your antennas, and we're going to use those antennas, but they will just be out the front side of this wireless mic receiver. So we'll take the nuts off and the washer off, and I'll probably end up doing a Velcro loop around the side to shorten this up just a little bit, but for now we'll let it be. as we're building it. And this only needs to be snug, at least in my experience. I've never needed anything more than that because the antenna will just permanently live on here, and the antenna will kind of just hold it on all together too. So I don't need any special tools or wrenches to put this on. If you really wanted, you could take a pliers or a crescent wrench and some Loctite, and you could really get it in there firm, but it's gonna be fine. Nice. I could use Velcro ties, but I don't have any on me at the moment, but I do have gaff, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of gaff tape. This is like a semi-permanent rig anyway, so not worried about needing anything to come apart quickly. All right, let's put this in the rack. This will be the second thing in the rack. If you caught what I was getting at, the antennas are getting caught in here. Is that just this? Huh. That's interesting. Well, you're learning with me. This is probably why they have their own proprietary antennas, so that they don't get interfered with the rack ears and the rack itself. That shouldn't be a problem. Let's grab some screws and get it up. Where are the screws? Nice and firm. And the antennas are held in place. That's kind of nice. So let's grab those antennas, and they are just going to live inside the front of the rack on the wireless unit. They're going to be out of the way of the door. It'll be really nice. They just get to live out front. So that's super cool. Now the final piece will be our power conditioner, and that will live on top. And I've actually had a couple of screws holding the threaded plates in here that I'm going to use for this. Here we go. All right, so this is the front of this rack. Nice. So this is before we do any cable management in the back, but you get to take a look at it and see the front here is super simple. This is a power conditioner, 2 wireless microphones, and the Behringer wing rack. Super fun, super simple, nothing crazy, but the second rack that we'll build will be our in-ear monitor rig using those older Shure in-ears. So we'll have them split out, so sometimes if we need them, if we're doing worship, we have it. If we don't need them, we don't have to take them out. So let's move to that in-ear rack and build that before we cable manage this, so that we can plan for our cable runs. All right, this is going to be an old, shallow, I mean, it's old to me. I've had it forever. I've seen it at the church for years. It's a 3U shallow rack from SKB. So let's put a power conditioner and our in-ears in here. All right, power conditioner's going in first. This is gonna live on the top of this rack. And I know that's counterintuitive to me saying antenna stuff goes on top, but I think the thing for me that trumps that is that power goes on top of antennas. So I'm gonna do that this way with power on top and then antennas just below it, since it's a 3U rack. Now, I had to run and grab my rack screws. Let's get this installed. The nice thing about these particular in-ears is that there's no cables that need to go around the back for audio. So these have 2 mono summed inputs on the front and a loop output, like a split out on the back, that you can use. So if you're sending maybe your own vocal mic through the first input and then your mix through the second input, you can then send your split out for your vocal mic to front of house. I've used these for years. I've had one of these myself, used it for 4 or 5 years when I was gigging, and they've worked great. They're a mono mix, they're super simple, but something like this where it's never gonna be far from whoever is singing or playing, this is going to be great. So let's get this one installed. And we'll drop the second one in at the same time. And there's a little like connector bracket. Shure's pretty good about offering those connector brackets when you get their stuff that they have like in the packaging, specifically to rack mount things. So we're using those to. Sweet. Put this on its face. There's just enough room for this to sit flat in the front of the rack. The nice thing is that all we have to do back here is power, but Shure includes these like ginormous long cables with all their stuff. So we are going to minimize that a little bit today. We're going to do some gaff taping of the power supplies to keep them from flying around back here. But in theory, the only reason we have to take the back of this rack off is to get power out. There, that's about as what we're gonna get. Pull some of that extra cable through. This is nice and compact. If we were to ever like move around, I'm not worried about anything. We can always plug stuff back in. But this is our entire in-ear rack in one go. And now we get to start cable management on the other rack, because these inputs up front are going to be fed by a 4-channel snake from the Behringer wing rack setup. So let's start cable managing the other rack now that this is built. All right, the rack is back. We are going to wire it up with these cables. We've got a handful of cables here. We've got power for the microphones. We've got power for the Airport Express. And remember, that is dual locked onto the top of the wing. This is not this is not professional cable management, but it is cable management. Power off to the side, and then we need power for the wing. IEC. This is like a short little 18-inch IEC cable that I got off Amazon a while ago. We used to have an X32 rack, and this was in that kind of portable setup. But we sold that to help fund the console upgrade for front of house and our backup console. And then we need network for the Behringer wing, and also need microphones. These will be microphones 1 and 2 into channels 1 and 2. So 1 and 2. Did I have them in 1 and 2? I had them in 7 and 8. That's why it worked. So these microphones will live in channels 7 and 8. I mean, so this is literally all the cables that are going to live in the back of this rack permanently. But what we'll need to do is use a 4-channel snake for the IEMs. So let me grab that and I'll show you how I'm going to set that up. So this is a 4-channel Cable Matters snake from Amazon. We're going to go by color here: red, white, blue, and yellow. So red, white, and blue will be 1, 2, and 3. Yellow will be channel 4. I need to use the other end because I'm sending outputs. And then this, you know what? I may have this live in here too instead of live in the in-ear case, because that way this doesn't ever get unplugged. Red, white, and blue are in 1, 2, and 3. And then yellow is channel 4. So this is outputs 1 through 4. That leaves us 7 and 8 for left and right. If we want, we have 6 for an auxiliary sub. And if we really want, we could run 5 and 6 as a stereo headphone send for a monitor. So if we had 4 wireless monitors and 1 on a headphone, maybe this rack lives by drums or something, right? So we could have 4, maybe it's 2 vocals, a keys, and a bass, as well as our drummer on a wire. So there's a bunch of options we can do because the Behringer wing has the headphone amps that stereo monitor wow, that mirror the stereo outputs of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. So this is just going to live in the back of this rack too. I think I've decided that. So now we see everything that's going to live back here and do the thing. So let's get our other rack up here and connect it up so you can see what that's going to look like in operation. These do not match. The racks, I mean. And they're not going to sit great. But even if we were to set them on a table together next to each other, they're going to live just fine. And this will be nice. I can run power out of one into the other, since these will be much less than 15 amp draws for both of these combined. We should be a-okay. But this little snake will run around to the front here and plug into our ears. So we got red, white, blue, and yellow. And I should get some labels on these. I'll do that another time. But there will be labels. We'll get these antennas up. So this is effectively like you're looking at the whole setup. Let me run power to everything so that we can turn it on, get this Airport Express connected so you can see some stuff happen on the mixer. We can make sure everything works. But this is it. This is front of house and monitor world for a portable system running 4 channels of in-ears, 24 channels of inputs, 2 MC mics built in, but we are also going to look at the PA we're using. So let's get this up and running, and then we'll plug it into the PA so you can see the whole system fleshed out. Also, can you believe it? I forgot something. This is what happens when you go in with a game plan but you don't write anything down. You know what you need. You have all the stuff, except for that drill bit. I had to go to Harbor Freight and get that drill bit to bore those holes out. But we need to get audio from the Airport Express into the console, which means I need to run that cable. Headphone out. And then I'm going to do this in the last 23 and 24 since there's inputs for house music and there's no auxiliary inputs on the rack like there is on the main Behringer wing. So we'll get that plugged into 23 and 24 because so there's no auxiliary inputs, but every input on the wing rack is a combo input. So that's super cool. I can do 1/4 inch TS, TRS, or XLR cables. Okay, everything's up. We got power, so let's power on the main rack. We've got power! Look at that. All right. Got power to everything. And now to set up this little Apple Airport Express, you do have to go into the App Store and download the Airport Utility. So I'll show you what that looks like quick. Airport Utility. Nice. That's it. So let's open it. Allow to find airport devices. Is it going to find it right away? Sweet. We're up and running. Cool. You are now looking at what this setup will generally be. It won't be this close together, but the idea is that I can run an XLR out of one output. Let's run that out of 7 for the house left output, and I can run power also from here. Yeah, the goal is to be able to run all this out of one place. I used to do this in my bands when I was playing guitar in country bands for casinos, but I haven't done this in a while. And this is we'll see how this goes because I've not had wireless mics in a rack like this before in the mixer rack itself. So we'll see if power is funny or if there's like some weird noise. But we're just gonna get it up and running and make sure everything works. All right, microphones, and you know what? I'll use the little included stands. Why not? All right, blue and orange. We know there's a mic. Which one's which? Let's see what blue is. Hey, check, check, 1, 2, 2, 2. Channel 2. Automatically searched. Hey, check, 1, 2, 2, 2. Oh, there's a volume. Hey, check, check, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Hey, check. Oh, nope, that is for mixing the mixed signal. All right, hey, check, 1, 2, 2. That's a little better. Hey, check, check. That sensitivity is hot. All right, we are back. You know what? I just don't know what happens. We're going to get this going. So, all right, so we've got our console pulled up. We've got everything going. Let's make sure that we can get some good input into these microphones and hear what that sounds like. Powering on this. Going to set the channel 1 input at noon at 12 o'clock because that is what these are both on. They are on mono because we're feeding them directly from the console, so I don't need to worry about mixing on there. What I am learning though is that they do not have the ability to run Bluetooth and stereo linked at the same time, because the left and right would feed into one console, but it would be summed mono into channel 1 and 2. So it's what it is. HH1, hey, check, 1, 2, 2. See what that gain structure is set up as. Hey, check, check, 1, 2, 2, 2. Hey, check, 1, 2, 2, 2. Hey, check, check, 1, 2, 2, 2. That's pretty good. I'm running about 32 dB a gain. Hey, check, 1, 2. Hey, check, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Hey, check. Yep, that sounds great. So now we can go into our buses and mains and view. And we can see that there is a main 1, and I need to assign. Everything's able to go there, so I need to go to my routing. You go to my outputs. My local out 7 and 8 is main left, 1 and right. Awesome. That's already set up for me. That's how I have it set. So now I should be able to go to this fader and check, 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 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Hey, check, check, 1, 2. 2, hey, oh, nothing yet because the main fader is down. You know, if I thought about that, I would think about that, but I didn't think about that. Let's turn that fader up. Faders for main. Here we go. Main 1, 2. Hey, check, check, check. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 2, 2. Hey, check, check. 1, 2, 2, 2. Hey, check, 1, 2, 2. Hey, check, check. 1, 2, 2. I'm actually pretty impressed. I'm really close to the PA, and I'm not getting any feedback. Hey, check, 1, 2. That's a very boomy microphone. So let's go into the channel. Let's pull out that low end with the low cut. Hey, let's put that up to 180. Does that smart dial not work? It does not. Touchscreen only. Here we go. That's not the low cut. There we go. Low cut at 140, 180. Hey, check, 1, 2, 2. 2. Hey, check, 1, 2. Let's turn the PA up a little bit, but right now you are hearing this microphone straight in from the channel. So you're hearing the USB recording, and I'm walking right in front of the PA. It's doing really good, and this PA's booming. Hey, check, check, 1, 2, 2, 2. 2, 2. Hey, check, 1, 2. 2, 2. So let me go to this input. Check the gain. Hey, check, 1, 2. This is, yeah, I'm hitting -6. Hey, check, -6. So you're hearing the actual recorded sound of this microphone. I do have a high pass on. Let me turn that high pass off. Hey, check, 1, 2. There's a lot of low end, a lot of mud naturally in this microphone, but it's not bad. You can remove that with a high pass. Okay, plosives are awful. So you might need a little foam windscreen on this if you're going outside with it. But we can get rid of some of that with that high pass. Turn that on really quick. I've got that set to 180 hertz. And I'm actually going to go in and adjust that down to 140. Hey, yeah, 140 hertz. Seems to be about where that's good. And this is through the PA, so you're hearing the microphone straight into the Behringer Wing from the Phenyx Pro PTI 2. This is it. This is what that microphone sounds like. We're going to have MC mics. I might go through and pull like a low shelf. That's a lot. Pull a low shelf instead of just doing that huge low cut. I'll probably do a low shelf and like a low mid pull, and that allows me to have a little more clarity. So you should be hearing what sounds like a fairly thin signal, but out of the PA, it's got the presence, it's got top end sibilance, but not too much. I could run a compressor, I could put some de-esser on this to help it out a little bit, but in reality, when I need an MC mic on a PA, I don't need it to have a ton of low end. Even if I wanted this to be a worship mic, it doesn't need to have a ton of low end. 120, maybe 100 hertz instead of 140. And I'll pull that low shelf up just a little bit. Hey, check, check, check 1, 2. And I'll bring back some of those low mids. So it sounds a little better in the PA, a little fuller, but you can't be straight on with this microphone. You have to hold it and talk across the capsule. And even when you do, you're still going to end up with some plosives. And if you rest it on your chin like a lot of people do to have a consistent mic placement, this is what that sounds like. You're resting on your chin. It's not bad. Not bad at all, actually. But it's uncomfortable to hear this in this way. So if I were to back up, I'll be out of the shot a little bit. But if I were to back up and listen to this from far away, yeah, the low mids are fine. It sounds okay. These microphones, for $200, these are killer. So all in, like I have a backup mixer already, so I'm not counting that into the total cost, because I think if you're stewarding well, you do have a backup solution in place. Even if it's a simple 12-channel analog mixer, you have something in place. So I'm not going to factor a backup mixer for our front of house into this. But for $200 for the microphone, maybe $100 for a power strip, $100 for a rack, $150 for a rack, and then the stupid deal of the day, $600 for both of these PA stacks total. You're looking at $1,000 for a little portable PA rig, and this sounds awesome. I can then use the Apple Wireless, the Apple Airport. Man, I need to get some brain moving here. I can use the Airport Express to get the house music, to get my wireless control, and you can find those used for like $20. So this is what that sounds like. This is the PTI 2 running through the Behringer Wing. It's nothing special. Maybe I'll do that high cut up at 140 again, so that I can get rid of some of that breathy, some of that moving air. But if I were to hold it out, just like an inch away from my face, you lose a lot of that low end. I can bring it back. Let's see what those plosives sound like now that it's a little further away from my face. Does that sound a little fuller, or do you still have like present? Oh yeah, you still have some very good plosives going on. So you have to be, yeah, even if it's down here, plosives are going to be very present, and your low end doesn't sound any good. There's no body, so you have to be up close, duly noted. Or you have to be a very powerful projector of your vocal. Yeah, this is it. This is about what it sounds like. Thank you for hanging out with me as I put this together, unboxed it, built the rack, rebuilt the rack again, and just reorganizing what's in it. These Harbinger MLS 900 speakers, for the price, the musician's friend, stupid deal of the day, $300 per stack. Worth it. Absolutely worth it. They sound great for $300 a piece. If I had to pay full price for them, I probably would have only bought one. I would have still felt okay at $600 for one, but I would not have been happy with $1,200 for two. I think I could have got a better sounding single stack for $1,200, RCF or EV in particular. The Behringer Wing is going to be a great console. It does not need wireless connectivity because it has the touchscreen, but the wireless connectivity will make it much easier to mix and move around and help monitors move around outside as we do stuff outdoors. The Phenyx Pro PTI 2s, that dual channel wireless mic setup, actually it's really cool. For the price, again, same thing as the Harbinger. If I paid $200 per channel for these mics, I don't think I'd be as excited, but $100 a channel for wireless microphones that sound okay. You may need a foam windscreen because the plosives, there's not a whole lot of wind reduction, but the plosives are active. So get a foam windscreen, and I think you're going to be fine. But all in all, $600 for the pair of speakers, $200 for the microphones. Assuming you need a power conditioner, another $100. Assuming you need a rack, another $150 for a 6-space rack. You're under $1,000 for building out a portable system. If you already have a mixer, even an old analog 12 channel, I think you're going to be just fine. So thank you for hanging out. Here is the breakdown of the cost of everything, just so you can see it one last time. And let me know in the comments, do you have any questions about building portable rigs? Do you have any questions about gear that you might find beneficial? Budget gear, do we use it? Do we not use it? When's the appropriate use case? All that stuff. Hit me up in the comments. Thank you for hanging out and watching me build our portable PA rig for Easter.